Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Deutschland. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. We are counting down the days, 116 days, 22 hours, to the official launch party for Farming Simulator 25 on November 12th, 2024. How's everybody doing this fine Hump Day? We're doing hay on Hump Day because why not? Why not? It needed to be done. I didn't get a chance to do it at all yesterday. Somebody at Giants thought it would be funny to release 3 maps in one day. Yeah, I was laughing. I was laughing at midnight when I went to bed after getting the 3rd map video done. Hope you all have had a chance to look all 3 of those over. Most notably was Old Stream Farm's extension. Old Stream Farm is now a full-size standard map, not a smaller subset of a standard size map. It's been expanded, multiple farms have been added, a couple new productions as well, at a price tag of 540 some, maybe 590 some megabytes of storage needed between the map and the required mods, because their massive new 60 building placeable pack was included as a required mod. Now, I will give you that there's lots of very fine buildings in that pack, but man, did it double the size of the storage needed. On PC players, we don't really care because we should have plenty of storage. But for console players, I think storage is a premium for everything and anything. So that could really affect one's ability to download and play the game. Good evening, David. Delilah, what's up? How are you all doing? You know what? Let's not forget about our farm barons like we did previously. This video is brought to you by Jolly Rancher Gaming and UTB. Thank you for being farm barons. There we go. The big chicken barn with 2,000 chickens, I believe, if memory serves. And still plenty of room to build out additional things there. Are you serious? You're gonna watch my videos after you get doped up on cold meds. Then you'll start hallucinating. I had what I thought was a cool idea. I overlaid the original Old Stream Farm PDA for FS22 on top of the new PDA during the video. Lined it up pretty darn good, so you can really get a sense of how much the map was actually expanded. I think this is their 4th map for FS22. And the expanded areas, they did not skimp down at all. Expanded areas were just as detailed as the main map area. And are you serious? The collectibles, it's going to drive you mad. It's going to drive you absolutely mad because I used the console command to show me where they all were, and I still had a hard time finding the apple, which I showed off in the video, and the strawberry, which I did not show off in the video. There's little strawberries on the ground you have to find. Are you serious? Even with the little dot, even on top of the little dot, it's like pull up the F1 menu and just walk around until you see it say collect. And as soon as you see it say collect, just hit R. Or just walk around and just spam R, and eventually you'll collect something. Alright, we should be close to filling this darn thing up. We're nearly out of hay over here. Oh, I said we're pretty darn close to filling it up, and we literally were totally full on filling it up. What's up, Cold Gaming? How's you doing? How are you doing? How's everybody doing tonight? We had rain finally for the first time in like 5 weeks. We had a storm roll through here last night as I was preparing for those map videos. We're gonna windrow this. Because I don't want to feed loose to anything. Jonah, it's Hump Day. That's what day it is. It's Camel Day. It's also Prime Day. And in a little bit, I'm going to be talking about Prime Day. I want to share with you just a couple deals I found and I was thinking about. And a couple deals that I actually pulled the trigger on. Because what's a good Prime Day if you can't share it with people, right? I thought Black Sheep Modding's collectibles were really interesting. And then we had the finish map with the 100 wedges of cheese. That was literally all over the place. That was the map that had the addition of the berry. And then we had the Brazilian map. How to get yourself a good Brazilian wax to get on that map. Three very diverse maps. Getting us just a little closer to that 400 and... Gosh, what did I want to get to? 413. I want to do 100 more than we did for 19. And I think my FS19 playlist has 319 maps in it. And I thought that was a lot because my FS17 playlist has like 100 and some maps in it. No wonder I've stopped doing pre-recorded videos. What's up, David? How you doing? Ah, the coffee map? I don't remember the name of that one. I did like this Brazilian map because it did have a southern hemisphere growth schedule. So you start in February as opposed to August. And therefore everything is just all skewed. All right, let's head down the hill to our other field. I just like maps that have different growth schedules because I like the introduction of a very varied play. Yeah, that was probably not the right word for that. But at any rate, when every map has the same growth schedule, it's like I do this now, I do this then. It's like playing with the same machinery on every map. Why would you do that? I know some people do. I don't. I like to change things up. I like to change things around. Why would someone save a raccoon? That's... what the heck? Oh my gosh, I ran out of twine. You know what? This is what we're going to experience in FS25. Except in FS25, I'm going to be able to hit a button and say, refill twine. That doesn't work. I gotta go get some twine. We had the work. All right, you know somebody's... All right, I want your all's takes on this. I know, I'll tell you what my answer would have been, but let me know your all's takes. I'm here at home working remote one day, and I hear about this event. There was a turtle under a coworker's car. He went out to go to lunch, and there was a turtle under his car. Now, I, for one, am kind of soft-spotted for turtles in general. You don't see them around here very much. So when you do see one, they're kind of special. Except when they're snapping turtles. Then they're not special. Then they're a menace to society and should be eliminated. That's my take. No, these people are like, oh, let's get something to put him in, and let's go put him in this little drainage pond that was created when we built some student housing. And I'm like, what? No, what are you doing? Like, call campus police and tell them to get rid of it. Like eliminate it so it no longer snaps. That's what you need to do. What's this? Oh, that's true. That's what you need to do. Not go put it in the water so it can take somebody's hand off. Why can I not kill this thing? All right, we have to figure out why I can't fill this thing. Now, the other day I did see it did have a little box turtle walking outside the door when I opened the door one morning. I was like, oh, look at that cute little guy. There we go. We don't see the twine. That'll be something I'm really eager to experience with respect to FS25 is refilling the baler. Growing up, we would eliminate the snapping turtles with, I don't know what gauge caliber this rifle was, but I can tell you it let off a vicious boom. And well, the water, yeah, it shot up in the air when whatever shell we used hit it. I don't know if it was a 30-30, 30-06 or what, but it was just, you knew something happened. And you knew death and destruction were on the other end. But okay, at any rate. How do we get on the turtle? Oh, the raccoon. I don't know why you'd save a raccoon. What are they good for? Well, let's just say we were, yeah, I don't think there'd be much raccoon left. There might be raccoon mist. Tell you what, I saw my very first live skunk after I moved to Virginia. Growing up, the only skunks I ever saw were dead on the road. They were like mythical figures, mythical animals. They obviously existed, but you never could see one until, you know, it was dead on a road. Nope. Here in Virginia, yeah, we see them. They actually walk. They're not just things people put out on the road that stink. I remember the first time I saw one for real, I'm like, that's a weird looking cat. Oh crap, that's a skunk. That's what I thought. Jonah, we're going to go back to Hofbergman when the 1.5 update releases. We're also going to be doing some live multiplayer testing on Nebraska lands whenever that one's ready. So I was saying right before the intro ran that if I didn't know that Hofbergman was coming out with an update very, very soon, then I would be tempted to hit Old Stream Farm Expanded. But the reality is Hofbergman is probably a week to two away. And we're going to spend some time on that one. I know for sure. I honestly didn't even know they were working on an expansion. Not that I'd really follow who's working on what. What's up, Waylon? How you doing tonight? Well, around here we smell them when they walk around. Right? You'll be in the house and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's a skunk outside. Or there's a skunk that just went by. We have outside cats, so we feed the outside cats, but we try not to leave food lying around because, well, we don't need to be bringing the skunks in. They're already enough. You talking about the hill? There's a hill on Old Stream Farm? Is that what you're talking about? We did a play on Old Stream Farm in 22. It's been so long ago, I don't remember too much about it. But I do know that, when I was doing the map video yesterday, a lot of the original map came back to me as I was like, oh yeah, this is over here, this is over there, right? F12 will, easy dev controls will definitely fill Twine in FS22. You can also do really interesting things with a baler if you fill the bale chamber. I was asking Johnny V the other day if he had heard from GTX. I haven't heard from GTX in over a year. And he had not either. It wasn't as long as a year ago, but GTX, if you're out there, we wish you well. We miss you. And darn it, reply to our messages. Would ya? Would ya? But yeah, we're gonna have to deal with FS25 without easy dev controls, at least for some duration of time. Hoping GTX makes a return. There's anthills on GTX, or no? Are there anthills on Nebraska lands? Is that what you're saying? I mean, up behind the farm, there's a little building plot, right? There's a little flat right up behind the farm. There's a little bit of a hilly field, I think, over to the east. Alrighty, there we go. That job is done. So let's talk a little bit about Prime Day. And anybody find some good deals on Prime Day? Anybody look? I was looking around yesterday and today. Found some interesting things. I wanted to share a couple of them with you, just in case you were looking for something. One of those was what I thought was a pretty good deal on a Gen 4 NVMe drive 48% off for a 1 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe drive. $57. And then 2 terabyte drive for $104. 500 gig drive for $39. I picked up that drive because I plan on rebuilding or reloading my gaming system here with Windows 11 between now and FS25's launch. Weapon XA, what's up? What is up? I can plant corn, I can plant beans, I can plant sunflowers, I can plant sorghum. Trying to figure out which vehicle I'm going to use. So my system right now uses a 256 gig NVMe drive that I put in it way back in 2015 when I built it for the very first time. It's been rebuilt multiple times around. So I'm going to give it a fresh start on a bigger drive. Also ordered a 2 terabyte drive for a secondary storage, but that's honestly, I'm going to put that on the shelf and keep it for a rainy day. Yeah, I think the crucial Gen 4 drive was like 1 to 110 or something. Oh, would you kidding me? Trying to figure out where my... Oh, I know where my seed tank is. It's over at the chicken farm. All right, let's go. Let's roll, people. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good deal. That's why I wanted to share it with you guys. And I wanted to just mention it. Another deal that I thought was decent, but I didn't buy, was a deal on a Logitech G29 wheel and pedal set. 37% off, $189. I thought that was a decent price. I use Thrustmaster wheel and pedals myself, but there are plenty of folks that use the Logitech wheel and pedals for Farm Sim, amongst other things. That one has a nice 3-pedal set. So you have your clutch, your brake, and your throttle. well, Scooter, I mean, that's almost a fabulous intro or segue to another deal that I did pick up. And that is, ironically, I find it ironic because, what was it, Monday? Monday, I was like, I'm not really in the market for a GPU. And then today, I'm buying a GPU. How your life changes in the blink of an eyeball. So I was just perusing Amazon, and I stumbled upon a price for a card that I ended up buying. So I bought that today. It's a 4070 Ti Super Duper card. It's up there in price for sure. But compared to other things, it's not awful. Now, I was also looking at, to be quite honest, I was also looking at the AMD 7900 XT. Now, the 7900 XT, looking at the benchmarks, technically was better than I think the 4070 Super Ti. But my work with NVIDIA's, my work with Adobe Premiere really is benefited by the NVIDIA CUDA cores. So that's what pushes me to NVIDIA over AMD. But if it was just gaming, I may have very much had picked that 7900 XT. Now that's not a prime deal. That's already a good price there. I was looking, honestly, before the stream, I was looking for 4060s. To see if there were anything that I would say would be a good prime sale. There's two different levels of 4060. There's like a 4060 8 gig, and then there's a 4060 maybe 12 gig, if I'm remembering right. Both will play Farm Sim 25 just fine and dandy, because Farm Sim 25 is its recommended spec is a 2070, and well, a 4060 should be close to a 3070, if not better than a 3070. Now, I didn't really see any prime deals on a 4060 12 gig. I would shy away from 8 gigs of anything right now, because there will be, if you play 4K on high textures, you can run into memory limitations at 8 gigs. We've seen this, or I've seen this with some benchmarking sites. Now, Newegg also has some deals going on, so it might be worth checking out Newegg. Did I turn it off? I talked about this earlier, but it's funny how these pallets spawn here, because pallets only spawn on the on the cardinal directions. And this farm is built not on cardinal directions. So the pallets spawn this way as opposed to this way. It's why you can't put a silage bunker down a 360 degree rotation. You're limited to putting it down, you know, 0, 90, 180, or 270 degrees. Now I'm going to be upgrading from a 3080 to the 4070 Super Ti. There is a noticeable change there. Typically though, you don't really get a whole lot of benefit from going to the next generation. You want to skip a generation. But if I'm going to maintain a single system that is both gaming and encoding, I want to have that. I want to have that overhead. I want to have that extra overhead. Because the 3080 will play 25 absolutely stellar. But what I'm worried is it won't play 25 stellar while also encoding a stream or encoding a recording. And I was looking up today, the 3080 draws more power than the 2070, the 4070 Ti Super. So I've got an 850 watt power supply, more than enough. I do have a Smart Ups that has a meter on it, and when I'm cranking full bore, I know I can pull 600 plus watts from the wall with the setup I've got now. So I am glad that when I did my last upgrade, I upgraded the GPU. For the power supply. Yeah, Jonah. Well, that does come into play. I think the 4070 Ti Super that I was looking at, that I linked there, I think it was listed as drawing 285 watts, and I think the 3080 draws 320 or something. I do, yes. I have an 850 watt gold EVGA power supply. I had a 650 in it, and I took that out. Oh my gosh, I didn't cultivate this yet. I'm gonna squeeze through here. No. Oh, I didn't cultivate this either. Yeah. Alright. Let's go do some field work. How about your power supply, Jonah? 750 should do fine. 750 should do fine for 4060. Should do fine for 4070 actually. I think if I said the card I got draws 285 watts, I think. That's at full bore, right? That's like full bore. And then depending on what your CPU is, you can look that up. But I doubt it's drawing 200 watts itself, so that would be 480 watts out of a 750 watt power supply. If you don't have one, they're pretty cheap. You get a thing called a kilowatt. It is a power meter. You plug the kilowatt into your outlet, you plug your PC into the kilowatt, and it will tell you your power draw. And that is not a great way of figuring out how much power your power supply is pulling, but it's close enough to get, you know, the job done. So a 5800 5800 X3D says well, PDP isn't really power draw. $121 watts. So your processor is supposedly drawing at its max 121 watts. According to what I just looked up. And I would say you want to have a buffer there, right? So 750 watt power supply, I'd say you probably don't want to regularly go over 500 watts. 600 watts, just to give you a nice little buffer there. You don't want to run it at 100%, but there are some efficiencies gained at running it not super light also. So I think a 750 watt power supply would do a 5800X and a 4070 Ti Super from a power draw. Just fine. So like I said, I have a 5900X in this system right now, and a 3080, and I can pull up to 600. I'm pulling, sorry about that, I hit my headphones hit the mic. I'm pulling 520 right now. And that's running this, that's streaming, that's powering 3 32-inch monitors also. I got 560 watts coming out of an UPS. So I would be fine at a 750 watt power supply too. I doubt it. But again, I'm driving 3 32-inch monitors too. hire a helper. We're going 73%.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy-O-T. The winds blew harder.
There's the fabulous 5900X, 12 core, 24 thread, just chugging away. Now I'm also doing CPU encoding. That's why it's at 30%. I'm encoding my 1440p stream with CPU power.
She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the whalemen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Uh-oh. So we're going to be able to see one big difference between 25 and 22 is the helper AI. In 22, they're turning off the field, right? We know that the helper AI in 25 is going to turn on the field. So that itself is a big change. And you know, while we're talking here, we might as well also bring up our partner Apex Gaming Computers, because they have 20% off until tonight. It ends tonight. I didn't realize this sale ended today, but Prime Day to compete with Amazon Prime Day, they're giving you 20% off anything on the shop, including the free configs that I've got. That makes this homesteader pretty attractive, in my opinion. So it puts the homesteader at $1655.96 with the code Prime. What do you get? Well, you get a 13600 KF 10-core processor running at 5.1 gigahertz, 250mm AIO, 12 gigs of DDR4 memory, 4060 Ti. We've been talking about that, haven't we? 1 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe drive, 750 watt power supply. The all-important sag bracket. We don't want our GPU sagging. We need it to be proud and fine. Right, we get Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Windows 11 Home, and there you go. We can come in here, we can customize this all you want to your heart's content as well. But I think 20% off, that's not a bad, that's not terrible. Oh, shit. I don't think that's a terrible deal. The Yeoman is still going to run Farm Sim 25, 1080p, 60 FPS. It's got an ARC A750 GPU in it, 5500 AMD processor, 20% off that bad boy, $959. Now, honestly, this one, Rancher, no, it's overpriced, in my humble opinion, for what we got here. $23.89, but it does come with a 4070 Super. We've seen the price for this 4070 Ti Super at nearly $800 by itself. 12900 KF. I don't buy the 13900 or 14900K. They've got some bad things going on with performance there. I don't think the 600 KF is going to have that issue, and the 12900 is a rock solid one as well. But again, I think the price to performance, in my opinion, is here at the Rancher. Apex Gaming Computer, linked down in the description below. Like I said, we got a deal up till tonight. Use Prime, you can get 20% off on checkout. Farmer G's GPU is proud. So I think your 750 watt power supply is just fine for what you want to run through it. If you want to save up for 4070, Ti Super, like I said, it's going to be 300, under 300 watts. Add to that your CPU. Let's go with the high side, 120 watts. So that right there is 420 watts. We don't have spinning drives anymore, really. They were kind of a big pull on power. We don't have optical drives anymore. They were kind of a decent pull on power. RGB, you know, I don't know how big of a drive that is. Your big power pulls are going to be CPU and GPU these days. I think we've allocated and accounted for those pretty well, and you're still at like half your power supply usage. Yeah. Well, it's the spinning up the spinning rust. The platters. It's the spinning up the platters that have a draw to them. Now, it's not like they pull 50 watts or anything. But if you had, like in my NAS here, in the home office, I've got eight drives in it. 8 drives is going to pull a little bit of power. But when it's idle, it runs like 65 watts. The NAS does. I don't know what it draws when I turn it on. I run 3 1440p screens, yes. They draw alone like 100 watts. Combined. Now, the last thing I wanted to share with respect to the Prime deal, because I do know that we have some controller players out there. I bought this controller a while ago, and I use it on occasion, but I'm not a big controller player. It is 8-bit DOE, Ultimate 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller with Hall effect joysticks and a charging dock for PC, Android, Steam Deck, and pretty much anything that will take a USB input. So the charging dock has, let's pull this up. Right? And can I make this bigger? Oh, I can make her bigger too. Look at this. So comes with a little doohickey, but the doohickey will fit in the charging dock. So all you have is you have the charging dock, you have a cable running to your PC, and then your controller will sit on the charging dock and charge when it's not in use. And when it is in use, your little doohickey there can be plugged in here to the bottom of this, as opposed to in your PC. So 39 bucks. Again, Amazon Prime deal. If you are in a market for a controller, I say maybe give that a look. Isn't that how they do things? Weapon, right? Only certain things are on sale. I was looking hard. Because I was thinking maybe I would, even though I wasn't in the market, maybe I would find a decent deal on a motherboard. Maybe I'd find a decent deal on a case. Although I have a Meshify case back here I can reuse. Maybe I'd find a good deal on a 7800. Nope, no X3Ds on sale for me. I had a 7900 X3D, but I didn't want that. I don't, honestly, I don't think I don't need the 12 core, 24 threads. Closest I get to pushing those is when I'm encoding a video, and oftentimes the GPU's at 100% and the CPU's at like 50. So the GPU can't keep up with the CPU shoving in data. So I don't need more cores. But I can use that memory, the cache. I don't remember what this UPS is, but I know it's rated for 800 and some watts of load. Yeah, I was looking at some benchmarks, and the 7900X3D didn't perform near as well as the 7800X3D, and I said I don't need the cores. An 8-core 16-thread part will pump enough data to keep that GPU rocking in Premiere. Yeah, I learned that. Will, I bought an APC UPS that I think it was an APC 850, and I thought, oh, it's an 850, it'll be good. Well, I plugged it in, I fired up Farm Sim, and the only thing that APC did was scream. It screamed bloody murder. Overload. I can't protect you in the event of a power failure. Overload. I'm like, what? So then I looked it up, and it may be an 850, but it was only rated for like 450 watts of load. Oh, well, crap. So that APC is now sitting on my office machine, which is a laptop, and also my NAS is plugged into that, and a couple other things are plugged into that, and it draws maybe 150 watts, a few hundred watts max if I'm doing something big on the laptop. And then I bought, I don't know what this is beside me, I can't see, it's too dark, but it's rated for 800 watts of real load. And we had a thunderstorm coming through last night while I was trying to do those map videos, and lights were dimming, and this thing would click, right? So I knew it was on battery. Not a clue in the world that I was having any issues. It was just fine and dandy. And I like the smart ups because I got an LCD on it. Right, I can see my input voltage, I can see my output voltage, I can see my amp draw, I can see my real-time watt monitor. Weapon, I'm jonesing for their retro keyboard, the 8-bit Dio retro keyboard. Oh, if it wasn't $100. Now the Amazon Prime price for the Nintendo version, the classic Nintendo version, is $79, but it's still too much. Yeah, I'm jonesing for that thing. It's Bluetooth, 2.4 gigahertz, retro mechanical. They have one that's kind of skinned like it's Commodore. They have one that's skinned like it's a Nintendo Famicom system. They have one skinned for the classic Nintendo from released here in the States. It comes with 2 giant buttons, and you can program the buttons to basically do things. They came out with a retro number pad add-on. And then they have the weirdest retro mouse. It has the weirdest retro mouse that has like little buttons on the side and a 4-way D-pad. Here, let me pull this up for you peeps, so you know what we're talking about. All right, here it is. This is why I said I have to have it. So, retro mechanical keyboard, 2.4 gigahertz, Bluetooth, USB-C, and then these 2 massive A/B buttons. Then there's A/B buttons here. So this is the Nintendo edition. Right, it's got a switch off 2.4. It's got a volume rocker. It's got some indicator lights for things. It has an old school power LED that glows when it's on, right? Or look at this. You could get here we go. Commodore 64 edition. This is the Famicom colors from the original Nintendo, complete with Japanese characters. I don't know what the M edition is. I think this is the IBM. It's made to look like the old mechanical IBM keyboards. But this is the Nintendo N. So the Famicom is the one that's on sale. The other one was on sale the other day. Well, then they have... All right, so... All right, yeah, there's their controllers. Oh, I'm jonesing for that. Arcade stick? Do you need an arcade stick? A little mini controller? This is what Tuki needs for his little baby hands. This is their completely weird mouse. What is even up with this? I don't even know what is even up with that. Where's this number pad? I don't even know where the number pad went. All right, no, that's crazy talk there. All right, no, wait. Does it seriously have the read a? Does it seriously have a oh my god. It has a readout. Now I might be jonesing for the damn number pad. Prime Day is evil. Weapon, use my affiliate link down in the description below. Now, all of these, just transparency, all those Amazon links are affiliate links. I do get like 3 cents per purchase on anything bought clicking through one of those links. I do want to thank anyone that has used the affiliate link to buy the collector's edition. Thank you very much. I look forward to my collector's edition showing up. Oh, I'm sorry, Weapon, for coming by, and I've been told watching this channel can get expensive. Yeah, well, you know, it's like you buy a 1500 ups, and there's different models, and there's drastically different prices, but they're all 1500. So you're like, what's the deal? And then you say, oh, well, this one's rated for this much power output, and this one's rated for this much power output. And the 1500 is basically the battery capacity, not so much the runtime capacity. Well, if you get that keyboard, I want to know how awesome it is. I've been jonesing for that keyboard for months. And then I saw today they had a number pad, but I didn't look close enough to see that it actually had an LCD digit display. Oh. I don't know. I thought about getting that keyboard and using it on the game on this system. Game on my system with my retro gaming keyboard. Clickety clack, clickety clack. Right now I use a Logitech wireless keyboard. And it's super thin, super light. But the reason I got this keyboard is you know how the Logitechs, they've got the little nip, little wireless nip. Well, this keyboard I can register for up to 3 different receivers. So my mouse is a Logitech trackball, and I can register it with up to 2 different receivers. So I can seamlessly take this between my gaming system and anything else that I plug another little nip into. So when I'm traveling with my work laptop, or with my air quote YouTube work laptop, I take the keyboard and mouse with me and just switch over to system number 2 mode. Super convenient. I have a SteelSeries headset. It's beautiful. I love it. I got it so I could connect to 2 different systems at once via wire, but then also I could Bluetooth. Right, I connect to it with Bluetooth, and it's got swappable batteries. So I don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't charge my headset and now it's dead. Jesse, thank you for the subscription. If you are in chat, say hey. We'd love to say howdy back to you. We're just here chilling out. Cookie, what's up? Did you see the little miniature controller I suggested you get? Are you saying Schultz is the one with the hands of a child? You have man hands. I am sitting with a Unimog because it's got the power I need to work on these hills, and I can hook the seed hopper to the front. So I get the capacity. Martin, quick question. You have boxes around loading and unloading mods. How do you do what? I have boxes around loading and unloading mods? I don't understand the question. I have boxes around loading and unloading points. I've never seen a Unimog in person, no. I have boxes. Oh, you talk about this map. This. That's custom to this map. So that's a custom feature of this map. So if I come here and it's not a mod, it's built into the map. So if I come here and I turn off interactive zone markers, right, they're gone. We turn them back on. So instead of the little corners, this map author did this thing, right, where they're color coded. They got the nice little tire texture, right? They're kind of neat. I don't know if you can use a mod to change them out. They may be a thing that has to be within the map file or the map itself. No problem, Martin. We are going to try to answer every question that is asked that I see. And there's lots of very smart people in chat that will answer questions I don't see. I do want to remind folks, if you you probably have already seen or already heard at this point, that it is advisable not to upgrade your NVIDIA drivers with the latest driver set. There appears to be some sort of conflict between Farm Sim and the latest driver set. It's not limited to Farm Sim. There appears to be conflicts with other games as well. That puts the problem on NVIDIA, not Giants. So I would expect a update coming sometime soon to that driver set to rectify the situation. Now, it's not every NVIDIA GPU's having the issue. I don't know if there is a large enough sample size at this point really to know which GPUs are affected, or if it's even attributable to a specific set of GPUs and may be attributable to other kind of system attributes. Well, David, you might not have the issue. I am 2 releases behind myself. One of the reasons I want to reload my system, and one of the reasons why I bought that NVMe drive, is that the last few times I've updated my drivers, my NVIDIA drivers, I've run into a point where when I come back to do a gaming session, I have to basically reinstall the drivers before I get good frame rates every time. Now, if I do a full uninstall and a full reinstall, that might fix the issue. So I've got it back working again where I don't have to do that every single time I sit down to the machine. It did it a long time ago and then it kind of stopped. So I just want to get to a nice clean point. Cooper, welcome. Welcome. Well, I've got an NVIDIA card in this system, mostly because this is the system I do the bulk of my Adobe Premiere work on, and in my experience, Adobe Premiere likes NVIDIA far better than AMD with respect to its encoding acceleration. But on my laptop and pretty much everything else, I have NVIDIA, or I have AMD GPUs. Shoot your question. The only bad question is the one not asked. Yeah, I saw someone mention that if you change it to DX11, it works again. And definitely, it's fairly easy to roll back drivers. But I very rarely install GPU drivers day one. I have this mentality of if it ain't broke, don't break it. Because I've had things that work perfectly fine break after I do an update. Multiple times. To the point where it's like, why did I even do that update? It wasn't broken. There was no real need. How you doing, Cavalier Roy? We've missed you with Wreckfest. We've started a new scheme where everyone starts A class until you win, and when you win, you have to drop down a class. And every time you win, you drop down a class until you're D. Everyone can have a little break. Yeah, so we start with A, and we run a warm-up race, just to get everyone back in the groove. Oh, we're stuck on a dip, and then we run a real legit race, and the winner has to drop down to B class, and they can't just reconfigure their car. They have to run a different car than they won with, right? The Schultz, the cheating master he is, would just run the same car and just drop its ratings. And we're like, no, we're done with that. No more of that. No more of that cheatery. So if you win with a car, you can't use it anymore for that night. And then we added, so someone doesn't get stuck at D for the entire night, we added if you're running a D class and you run 2 races without winning, then you can upgrade back to C. So in theory, you could float between C and D, because you could win at C and drop back down to D. And ultimately, it lets lots of other people who maybe are slower than some of the faster folks, well, they clearly should have an advantage, because they're running A, and some of us who are maybe faster are running B and C's, right? So come on down Friday night for Wreckfest, doing our interesting, you win, you get downgraded. Okay, I gotta catch up with. Does Farming Simulator 25 work on PS5? Yes. Farming Simulator 25 is released for PS5. It is not going to be released for PS4 or Xbox One. So only the current platforms are supported. So it's PC, Mac, PlayStation 5, and Xbox X and Xbox S. Well, Tukey was running some race and he cut a whole corner off. He literally flew over the entire field. Flew over half the track, and it let him do it. I am not running the super van. And then what? We set the reset penalty to like 10 seconds. I have a hard enough time running this stupid couch. The weapon, the answer is no. And yes at the same time. So the collector's edition is only compatible with Steam because you can add non-Steam games to your Steam library so you can execute them or launch them from within Steam. The collector's edition does not redeem on Steam, and the collector's edition, you cannot buy Steam DLC for it. So the collector's edition obviously comes on DVD and also includes a digital code to download a digital copy from the Giants eShop. So it is the same as basically buying the eShop copy from Giants directly, other than the fact that you obviously get all the other stuff. And that's why you would buy the collector's edition to begin with, is to get all the other stuff. But it is not a code that was redeemable on Steam in any way. But you can add third-party games to your Steam catalog so that you can launch them from within the Steam launcher. So that's the only way it's compatible. So you'll be getting game updates through the Giants launcher. There isn't a Giants launcher, but when you launch the game, it basically phones home and says, "Oh, is there an update?" And if there is, it goes, downloads it, and installs it. Yeah, I don't like the. I mean, the lawnmower is a little hard with a wheel too. So when I talk about the eShop copy versus Steam, there's distinct advantages in both. One, Steam's advantage is you can literally install the game on as many systems as you install and log into your Steam account. So if you have 10 computers, you can install Steam on all 10 computers. You can install the game on all 10 computers, but you can only play it on one at a time. Right? You can share your Steam library with your family, and as long as you're not playing the game, someone in your family could play the game using your copy. That's cool. There's lots of really, really cool things going on with Steam. The downside of Steam is the timing of when you get games, game updates, DLC releases. Steam is inevitably nearly last to get that update out. So Giants will release their game, they'll release their DLCs on the eShop. Why is this? Typically at midnight CET the day of launch. So at midnight CET November 12th, Farm Sim 25 should unlock on the Giants eShop. That is midnight CET, so depending on where you are in the world, that could be before or after November 12th. For me, that is November 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we will be streaming at 8 p.m. Eastern on November 11th, and we'll be doing a launch party in multiplayer with anyone and everyone that happens to have the eShop copy at that time. Now, with game launches, Giants has worked out to do simultaneous launches recently, which is good. But with DLCs, that's not always the case, right? So if you like to get stuff right away, then you want to get the eShop copy, because that's kind of the earliest possible time you can get it. But you also now have to keep track of your install code, because they send you an activation code in email, so you have to keep track of that. In theory, you keep track of your installers, so you're not downloading the installer constantly. You do get the ability to install it on multiple systems, but it is a limited number of activations before you have to go to Giants and say, may I please have more activations, and this is why. So that would be the advantage and disadvantage of the Giants eShop copy. Both versions will let you downgrade, right? So let's say, like the driver issue, let's say there's an update that comes out for the game, and the update has a problem or a conflict with something that you just have to be able to use. So therefore, you want to not install the update or roll back. You can do that with either copy. With the eShop copy, you just hold left shift, you launch the game, you get a menu, and you can pick which branch you want to run, basically. I honestly run 3 different versions of the game. I have Steam, and I have that installed on several systems that I have. I have the eShop copy installed on this system, and I have the Collector's Edition installed on another system. But my needs are kind of different than the average Joe. Right? I don't expect the average Joe to need to buy more than one copy. FS22, I think, was a simultaneous global launch across all platforms. Yes. But that was for the game launch, not for, like, DLCs. I have no idea, Goober. Sorry, I don't have a PS4 or 5, so I have no idea if you can play PS4 games on PS5. I have no idea. Was there any talk of mods updating correctly? Like official ones? I don't understand. You can go to the download menu in game and download mod updates that way. I mean, I would hope that you could do that with PlayStation, but I also know that maybe you can't. I feel like that's one of the distinct differences between PlayStation and Xbox as platforms. is on an Xbox you can have that backward compatibility. But I do not own, nor have I ever owned a PlayStation 2. No. I never have heard that. Mods getting stuck at 100%. Now, Sherry has said that there's an issue with Xbox and the mod hub. And that's been going on for quite a long time. There you go. Like I said, we got very smart people in chat. So if I don't know the answer, other people do. Weapons says more than 99% of the PS4 games are playable on PlayStation 5. Yeah, FS25 will release on November 12th at midnight CET. And for me, midnight CET is 8 p.m. on the 11th. So those of us on the East Coast will be able to activate and download the game at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. West Coast time. That's how we've done launch parties on launch day. Now what will work is you can buy the game on Steam because you want maybe your achievement tracking, you want your hours played tracking, and you can buy your DLC from the eShop because the eShop DLC will work across any and all PC installs. So be that the eShop copy, the digital copy, the physical copy, Steam, or Epic. I don't remember, Bucket, if there was a preload for FS22. FS25 listed as being 45 gigs installed. I feel like maybe it was possible to preload on console. I don't know if Steam did a preload. On the eShop, it's a no. You can't. Your code won't do anything until it's released. Which East Coast are you on? That's midnight's. No, it's not CST. CEST. Central European Standard Time. Or CET. It'll be CET come November, Central European Time. So we are 6 hours behind CET. So whenever Giant sends me embargo information, they always have the embargo time frame in Central European time or Central European summertime, which is what they're in now. And I have to do the math. It's fine. It's fine. Worst is when we change at a different time than they change now. So there's like a 2-week period where we're either 6 or 7 hours apart, either 5 or 7 hours apart, depending on which time of year it is. Yeah, we're on the same time zone. We're on the same time zone. And you know what? If you can make it to PAX East next May, I would love to meet you. We're going to be, me and the boy, we're planning to go back to PAX East for the 3rd time next year. Giants will be there. No doubt. They've been there the last 2 years. They had a great time. We have a fabulous time at PAX East, meeting gamers from all over the place. My kid is like in the candy shop. He's a gamer. I gave him my old laptop. He is just an avid PC gamer now. I did see that HUD color mod came out, ironically, soon after they showed the HUD for FS25, and some folks were like, "Ew, I don't like the green." And I think Schultz was like, "Oh, that'll probably be the first mod that'll come out. It'll be a HUD color changer." And then, like, the next week, this HUD color changer shows up for FS22. Of course, it's been in the works long before FS25 came out or was announced and shown. Sometimes the timing on these things is very ironic. So that's what the countdown timer. The countdown timer is 16 days, 21 hours to 6 p.m. my time is technically when that counter is counting down. It's technically an hour off because, of course, we roll back clocks between now and when the game will actually release. But that's not here nor there. You're not? I kind of digged it. I kind of digged it. When I get done this field, I'm going to see if I can't pull up a still of it. Just to remind everyone what it looks like. So there was a commenter the other day on my community post about what features most surprised you in what's been announced, and they were asking if I thought def would be a standard thing in FS25, and I mentioned, well, based on the HUD information that we've seen, I don't think it will be, because if it would be implemented in game, in my opinion, properly, we should have both a fuel gauge and a def gauge in the UI, because they would be independently refillable. Let me see if I can't find a still of the UI. Well, I can definitely bring up a video. A video that'll show it. Here it is. So we have the digital UI. Here we are flooding our field. That was cool. At any rate. Right, so we don't have a gauge, we just have these LED lights. I mean, maybe it's possible to come out with a mod that changes your HUD. Classic HUD. Imagine having a classic HUD and it's like an analog gauge. But see, we've got our shifter indicator, right? We have a single fuel gauge, and we have our maintenance gauge. Of course, we have the GPS that everyone got excited about. We now know more about GPS and how that's going to work. We have our fill type icons, and we have fill type words as default. I think more people are not liking the green than the gauge. Oh, that would be interesting. If you were in a John Deere, it was one color. If you were in a New Holland, it was another. All right, I got one more field. I think I need to cultivate it. We're gonna find out. Oops, sorry. I know the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink the UI down. I run 70% UI scaling. You can change that from the main menu. Yeah, I mean, we've had since FS19. I know in FS19 we had different fill types for def. We have fill type for air. Because of our air brakes, right? But we've never seen anything implemented where you. What the heck am I hung up on? We've never seen anything implemented where you where you have to wait, you know, until you build up air pressure before you can move like a truck. But there are tractors that have air as a fill type, have def as its own fill type in the XML, as well as diesel. And it's one reason why, like, the def mod works on pretty much everything out of the box, because it just takes what's already in the game and exposes it more to the player. And then when we had FS22's fact sheets, if you remember the fact sheets for FS22, those included def as a fill type in the fact sheet with a quantity within the value. And that left me and others speculating that def was maybe a thing more than it was in 19. But that thing never seemed to come to fruition. But we still have 116 days before launch, so there's plenty of opportunity to still make def a thing, and add it to the UI in some way if it's on the roadmap. Yeah, Martin, there's, like you said, there's air values in the tractor, you know, because we have air brakes, right? But we don't have this, we don't have a gauge, right? We don't have a gauge on air, a light showing low air. There's nothing about that. It would be kind of neat to have to start your tractor and wait a little bit. I got to build up my air pressure because I haven't been in this tractor for a while. I've let all the air out of it or whatever. Or I hook up to a trailer and then I have to wait, you know, have air flowing in, filling up tanks, filling up reservoirs. So we'll see when we get fact sheets for FS25 if is depth listed as a fill type, as a quantity. You know, it'd be like they would have a tractor and it'd say 460 liters of fuel, 40 liters of depth. Huh. So we hold 40 liters of depth, but we don't actually do anything with it. We had a def mod in 19 also. Bucket, I think they'll start in August. I look back and we had 13 fact sheets between 13 fact sheet weeks in FS22. So that, if we have 13 fact sheets for FS25, that puts us middle of August. Well, that's, yeah, weapon, that's what I did myself, is I picked up the collector's edition, and then next paycheck I ordered the eShop version with year 1 season pass, and I get paid this Friday, and I may pull the trigger on the Steam year 1 season pass, or I might let it float another paycheck. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of your keyboard. Let me know. Join the Discord and send me pictures. I've watched reviews of that keyboard. Yes, I have. I wish that's something I wish we had more of. I wish we had more electric powered things in the game. Electric powered stuff seems to be a bit of a gimmick at this point. Methane powered was super gimmick because there was like one thing that was methane powered. It was that little tracked New Holland. And like in 22 we got some more electric stuff. Like we had the electric forklift, we had the battery operated telehandlers, one of them. We had did we get battery operated tractors back? I think as a mod, not as included with the game. Oh my god, does Snow Runner, do you run out of electric power as fast as you run out of fuel? Oh, that game was so frustrating. I had to put a mod in, like realistic fuel usage and realistic fuel quantities so that you can actually go across the map without having to run out of fuel. The way they had those vehicles using fuel, it was like your fuel tanks leak like a sieve. Martin, I do not have access to 1.5 with Hofbergman. I wish I did, but I do not. I feel like he samples German-speaking creators. No fault at that. No fault at that. But I feel like that's who gets sampled out, which is fine. It's his choice. It's his map. I will get it when I get it, and I will do my best to get content out as quickly and as accurately as I can. Oh, there's no humming or whirling. So I played through all of SnowRunner's base game content. I played through the entirety of the Year 1 Season Pass content. And then I said I'm done. I'm done with SnowRunner. And now I see that they have like Season 13. Like Year 4 Season Pass. It's like insane. It's insane the amount of gameplay you can get out of that game. We are going to fire this guy off. We're going to get this field harvested, not harvested, cultivated and planted before the end of the day. Because, well, we need to. The sunflowers are done at the end of May. And maybe, just maybe, our wheat will be ready to harvest next time we come back. We got plenty of weeds. I don't plow. I'm crazy. That's crazy talk. We will spray our weeds next month when they pop up, and then we'll be done with weeds. Yeah, I don't turn weeds off. I also don't turn plowing off. I just don't do it. Ignore what you don't like. That's what I do. I do turn off stones because I think they're way overdone. Well, I hope you all enjoyed tonight. I did double cultivate a few fields by accident the other day. I hope you all enjoyed this evening. Enjoyed the banter, enjoyed the chat, enjoy the camaraderie and the community that we have going on here. I thank you all for spending the last couple hours with me as we did a little gameplay here on Deutschland. I'll be keeping an eye out for the drop of Hofbergman, but it sounds like we're not going to see that until we get much, much closer to August. Hopefully we get some new FS25 news coming up shortly as well. Stay dry, stay cool, stay safe. And until next time, happy farming. They are the GGMS trucks. I will try to look that up.